after she speaks. There's going to be 5 minutes to ask questions or cede to outside counsel. Republicans, where are the optics of their all-male committee members questioning an alleged female victim of sexual assault have hired already Arizona prosecutor Rachel Mitchell to ask questions on their behalf. Like, they know this is so bad for us. We need another woman in here. We need a chick, because this is going to be bad. And we have not, like, the only way you can get away with saying, oh, she's lying, why you always lying, like, just telling that to every single woman who accuses Kavanaugh of sexual assault for the past, like, week. That's been the only response for the past week. Oh, yeah, you lying. Stop tripping. You lying. That's pretty much what it's been, to put it in, like, hip-hop terms. But, yeah. So, following the round of questioning, Ford will leave the room and be replaced by Kavanaugh, who will undergo the same process. It's unclear whether Kavanaugh will change his remarks following Wednesday's allegations made by Swetnick. What he's prepared to say is he will tell senators he drank beer with my friends, usually on the weekends. Sometimes I had too much. In retrospect, I said and did things in high school that make me cringe now, which could be a good testimony because a lot of people have done that. Shh, don't tell anyone. Like, a lot of people. I'm gonna do my trademark whisper here. A lot of people have done things in high school that they may regret. Yes, that could be a little bit of a problem. Luckily, I'm good so far. I'm relatively good so far. I'm staying good. I'm in high school now, so I'm staying off the beaten path here. How to watch, though? You can watch on TV. Pretty much everyone's going to be carried. CNN, Fox, MSNBC, C-SPAN, PBS NewsHour will also show the hearing for those of you without cable. In addition to watching on TV, viewers can also watch a stream of the hearing live on the Senate Judiciary Committee website. It'll also be streamed on C-SPAN's website and YouTube channel, as well as PBS NewsHour's YouTube channel. C-SPAN's radio station and WCSP will broadcast at the 90.1 FM in and around Washington, as well as from their streaming websites. I'm assuming that's NPR. In this case, only New York, and that's C-SPAN's radio station, WCSP. That's from Washington. I didn't read that well. Then on Tuesday, Republicans scheduled a committee vote for the nomination on Friday morning. On Kavanaugh's nomination for Friday morning, and plan to bring the nomination to full Senate vote for sometime early next week. So they want to get it over with. They're not giving much time to consider. So pretty much what they're doing is they're saying committee votes. Big committee testimony one day, and the next they're moving on. They're moving on to the vote, and then they're going to bring it next week to the floor for a vote there. All right, so Dr. Christine Blasey Ford's written testimony detailing her alleged sexual assault by Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh in the early 1980s has been released ahead of a hearing of the Senate Judiciary Committee on Thursday. He said, "I'm not here because I want to be. I am terrified," Ford says in her written testimony that she's going to read when she comes out. "I'm here because I believe it's my civic duty to tell you what happened to me while Brett Kavanaugh and I were in high school." In her testimony, Ford says that the evening in question was a small gathering that was almost surely a spur-of-the-moment gathering. And Ford claims that Kavanaugh groped her and tried to take off her clothes, and she believed that he was going to rape her. They said she tried to yell for help. When I did, Brett put his hand over my mouth to stop me from screaming. This was what terrified me the most. He had actually had the most lasting impact on my life. It was hard for me to breathe, and I thought that Brett was going to accidentally kill me. Not saying he was a murderer, but she felt threatened for her life there. Not thinking that Brett wanted to kill her, but that it could have very easily gotten out of hand, and something tragic like that, God forbid, obviously could have happened. He said, "Apart from the assault itself, these last couple of weeks have been the hardest of my life. I deal with my trauma in front of the entire world, have my life picked apart by people on television, the media, and in this body who have never met me or spoken with me. I've been accused of acting on partisan political motives. Those who say they don't know me, I'm a fiercely independent person. I am no one's pawn." She says, "My motivation in coming forward was to provide facts about how Kavanaugh's actions have damaged my life so that you can take into serious consideration as you make your decision about how to proceed. It's not my responsibility to determine whether Kavanaugh deserves to sit in the Supreme Court. My responsibility is to tell the truth. So very strong, in my opinion, testimony coming out there from Christine Blasey Ford. It should be interesting to see that take place. So yeah, hours before Christine Blasey Ford is scheduled to testify in front of this Senate Judiciary Committee. However, Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh is scheduled to testify that, obviously, what we just heard, that she was a victim of attempted rape by Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. A fourth woman has come forward. We have Blasey Ford who's going to testify tomorrow. We got Svetnik just today, and Debbie Ramirez this past weekend. And just a few hours ago, overnight, I think it was, NBC came out with a report that says Republican Senate investigators asked Kavanaugh about the new complaint. And when I speak of new complaint, I say a fourth woman has come forward to the committee, again, according to NBC News. New allegations submitted in a form of complaint sent to Republican Senator Cory Gardner, which was obtained by the NBC, were reportedly discussed with Kavanaugh on a one-on-one call with Senate investigators. So, Republican Senate investigators asked Kavanaugh about the new complaint. NBC News has learned during a phone call on Tuesday between Kavanaugh and committee staff. Sources told NBC News Kavanaugh has denied the allegations in the letter during the call, and a spokesman for the committee has declined to comment. According to an anonymous complaint sent to Republican Cory Gardner, Kavanaugh physically assaulted a woman whom he socialized with in the Washington, D.C. area in 1998 while he was inebriated. When they left the bar under the influence of alcohol, they were all shocked when Brett Kavanaugh shoved her friend up against the wall very aggressively and sexually. There were at least 4 witnesses, including my daughter. The writer of the letter provided no names, but said the alleged victim was still traumatized and decided to remain anonymous herself. So I think she pretty much had her friend come in and write this stuff, because it seems like she was just not ready to put the pen to paper on the very traumatizing issue. This is the first complaint about Kavanaugh sexually harassing or assaulting women in his post-college years, which shows possibly this culture of drinking too much and getting a little too pushy with the girls. Maybe that continued. That seems to be not just Kavanaugh. It just seems to be very present with the prep school culture. And those people always become, a lot of times, these people grow up to become some of the most powerful people in the world. Like Brett Kavanaugh, he's up to an extremely powerful position. People like Mark Judge, maybe they don't make it as far. But a lot of people in Georgetown Prep, Holton Arms, which is where Blasey Ford went, they grow up to make a lot of power for themselves in the world. And the fact that this is the culture that exists in their school is very, very telling, in my opinion. As we know, in a chaotic press conference last night, President Trump said he thought he would consider withdrawing Kavanaugh's nomination if he thought he was, quote, guilty of something like this. Trump's was also clear that he wholeheartedly believes Kavanaugh's denials. So a Democratic source told NBC News they were unsatisfied by Republican questions about the alleged incident during his call with Kavanaugh. The source called the questions cursory and said the allegations merited deeper investigation. After another new accusation from the transcript of a call between Senate Republicans and Kavanaugh emerged, Senate Democratic staffers are reportedly speculating that Republicans are intentionally releasing shaky accusations to undermine those that are more credible. So apparently, this was the anonymous call that apparently didn't even look that good. And Elena Shore, who's a Senate Democratic aide, who is a reporter, said Senate Democratic aide told her that there's a concern the GOP is now releasing anonymous allegations in an effort to make all allegations look frivolous. So they're playing dirty here. There's no doubt about that. They say we're focusing on all the ones that have names attached. Senate Judiciary Republicans now released an anonymous fourth complaint noting this. We had no reason to assign the letter credibility, as even if we did, we'd have no way to investigate the allegations because it was made anonymously and cannot be corroborated there. So, yeah, that seems like this allegation. Although, I mean, if there's more information about it, we should obviously come forward on it. It seems like quite bad. But, by the way, Elena Shore, I believe, is a political reporter there, just to give her credit where credit's due. But there's little anyone can really do about that at that time, and I don't think especially with the Ballsy 4 testimony coming today. It's not going to get a lot of play. All right, so yeah, HuffPost reported earlier today that Carrie Severino, who's the president of Judicial Crisis Network, the plentiful but secretively funded nonprofit that has been pushing for Kavanaugh's confirmation, would definitely not state whether Kavanaugh should still be confirmed after the latest sexual assault allegations against him. During an interview on MSNBC, Severino said, "We have to look into this further." When asked if the Senate still should confirm the judge, a few years later, she tweeted the following to dispute the notion that her group is backing away from Kavanaugh. So yeah, she says, not true. The further examination I referred to is the SJC, Senate Judiciary Committee, asking Avenatti to submit any corroborating evidence they have, something they asked for days ago, and he has yet to do. Our ads are still up, and we still fully support Judge Kavanaugh, and look forward to his confirmation. So yeah, that's pretty much what he's thinking about. He's a very, very powerful, judicial figure who really pushes and selects these people, and you really hit it out of the park in this one. Federalist Society and Carrie Severino of the Judicial Crisis Network. Good job. So Facebook's political ad archive showed that JCN was running just one ad. A second one has since gone live. The text of this is according to Splinter, by the way. The text of that ad, which started running on September 22nd, is much more equivocating than her comments on MSNBC. So the allegations against Judge Kavanaugh with the attack reads are nothing more than a character assassination and delay by personal attack, smearing a man who maintains innocence and has cleared 6 FBI background checks. Charming. Very, very nice stuff there. Yeah, the Senate Judiciary Committee exists here. This is the important thing to remember. It is very, very, very important to remember this here. So the Judicial Crisis Network exists entirely to get conservatives confirmed judiciary. Its former name was the Judicial Confirmation Network, and the vacant Supreme Court seat is pretty much the holy grail of Republican legal politics. The reliable fifth conservative vote will open the floodgates for all kinds of evil and all kinds of awful laws to be put into force in this country. It's very, very disturbing. And this is pretty much the most important fight for this group in its entire existence. I mean, this is something that they've been pushing for as long as I can remember, as long as I can think back to, they have been pushing for a reliably conservative Supreme Court. And guess what? Something tells me the liberals will be just as happy to get a 5-person liberal Supreme Court, which could be a very big deal. The court's kind of a little bit back and forth right now. But still, if this gets passed, there is going to be a major, major problem. And there's going to be no checks on President Trump for pretty much as long as he's in office if, we push for something along the lines of another a Democratic Senate or a Democratic House, which could be something that could happen this midterm. So still, it is very disturbing. Very disturbing. All right, so, yeah. All right, we got one last clip for the end of the day here for you, and it's this. To an ordinary observer, President Trump getting laughed at during his UN General Assembly speech on Tuesday was yet another sign that world leaders increasingly find him and America under his administration a perverse joke. And we played the clip for you yesterday. Here's how Nikki Haley reacts.
I deal with these leaders every single day. I know exactly how they think. Do they love America? No. Do they respect America? Now they do. When he said that, they love how honest he is, and it's not diplomatic, and they find it funny. When he goes and he is very truthful,
amazing.
They kind of are taken back by it. And
they're not used to it.
They're not used to it. But let me tell you, all day yesterday, they were falling over themselves to get a picture with him, to talk about how great his speech was, how strong it was. Whether he said good things about them or not, they love that he's honest with them. Mm-hmm. And they've never seen anything like it. And so there's a respect there.
There's a respect there, yeah. Do you normally feel respected when an entire group of people, by those same people, when an entire group of people just like laughs in your face? Because I don't think I do. Like, they literally just laughed in his face. And